Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, know nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. We know that this is a pop up episode for the vault. So, this is the vault 258 personality versus process. And just appreciate everybody that was able to hop on live. And appreciate everybody going back and listening in via the replay. So always appreciate the listeners live and in replay. But we wanted to do this pop-up episode. We're actually going to do a couple of episodes so people will be able to get concurrent back-to-back information. But we really wanted to do this episode because our lessons are really for our trustees that are on the road driving. If they're truckers or if they have businesses, they can listen to the channel podcast, listening to it while they're doing some other things, multitasking. And so personality versus process is a very, very big lesson that a lot of our trustees end up having to learn, especially when they go through trustee training and they see the different side of Trust Christian in the vault once they enroll in trustee training, where they see, okay, this is a lot more serious than what he may have said on the public side, that there are things that he's saying and telling us now that the training is preparing us for the process of being a trustee, is preparing us for the system that we have to operate, irregardless of our personality, irrespective of our background, irrespective of where we come from. And so personality versus process is to really point out to people, specifically the trustees that have enrolled in the trustee training program, that it's not about your personality, it's about the process. It's one of those things they say, well, is success a defined process? It is. Success in trusteeship is a defined process. It's a process that is like when you're dealing with the 1041. There is a there's a process to fill out that document properly, and then there's one that's not. There is a process of living your life, own nothing, control everything, and then there's not. Because it's a process. It's a system that's in place. There's a system for own nothing, control everything. There's a system, a process, and procedures that need to be followed. And that's why it's irrespective of a personality. Personality is non-essential. Some people say, well, I'm not too comfortable with giving public speeches and things like that. Guess what? You don't have to do that in trusteeship. In trusteeship, you're trained on how to find those people. See, in trusteeship, you're trained in leadership skills. You're trained in the essentials of a trustee, which is leadership skills. So it's not based off of personality. It's based off of a process of a trustee learning to acquire a skill if need be. And the skill doesn't have to be public speaking, because when we went to our mentor and said, hey mentor, we see that there's a lot of law involved in this thing, we need to learn the law, so we about to go to law school, become a paralegal or something. Mentor said, don't worry about that, we hire those people. Personality, don't worry about it. Said, okay, well, it looks like there's some accounting involved in this process. We need, as a trustee, need to go learn accounting. Mentor says, don't worry about that, we hired those people. We hired the accountants, we hired the bookkeepers. And it's interesting because when we really think about the appreciate Texas for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to type into the chat where you're listening from. But we wanted to share with the trustees, that, hey, you need an accountant, you need a lawyer. That's true. But at the same time, you're the trustee. There's a process in place that allows you, through trustee training with the vault, that allows you to weed out those people, to interview those people. See, when you enroll in the training system, we train you to weed out the good lawyers from the bad ones, to weed out the good accountants from the bad ones, the ones that are going to help you instead of the ones that are going to say, well, that can't be done. Is it that it can't be done, or it's illegal? Because if it can't be done but it's not illegal, we're going to fire you. But if it's illegal, we're not going to touch it at all. But a lot of times people don't want to point out that it's illegal because they know that it's not. See, you'll get an accountant and say, well, that's a hairline pushing. That's pushing illegal bounds. We're aware of that, but is it illegal? No. Great. then we're going to implement the strategy, because it's for asset protection, asset preservation, asset growth. That's what we're about as trustees. But a lot of times, a lot of people look at Trust Christian's personality and say, oh, Trust Christian has a pretty strong personality. A lot of these guys that are on the internet that are doing these type of things, they have strong personalities. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to tell you, it's not about your personality, male or female. It's not about your personality. It's about how well can you take a strategy, how well can you take a system, how well can you follow instructions to implement the process, the procedures. It's the process. How many people are willing to implement the process properly? How many people are going through the process properly? How many trustees only did half of the process? Oh, I went business trust, family trustee training, but I didn't go through the foundation training. So you didn't complete the process. You didn't complete the process. It's own nothing, control everything. It's pass along the wealth to the children tax free. Right? Right. But what happened? People didn't complete the process sometimes because they didn't understand that it's a process. It's not based off of the personality of teaching you. Oh, Trust Christian, you talk this way, you say it that way. The vault, you only give out certain things. But guess what? We give you the entire process. So it's not based off of the personality, it's based off the process. What are you doing with the process? Not, oh, well, it's the way you said it to us. So we'll give you an example that we give trustees when they come into the trustee training. So there are places in the world that, you can walk out in the street, cross the street, and buses come by. Well, what happens when, you're walking across the street or attempting to walk across the street and there's a bus coming or a car coming and somebody yells at you and says, hey, don't go that way or don't do that, and you say, well, I didn't like the way that person said it to me. Personality. But the process was they had to speak loud so they could get the message through to you. But how many people are, oh man, I don't like the personality, I can't get the personality, but their family's not in better shape with a new process because the old process is not working. It's not helping their family become financially independent. It's not helping their family become independently wealthy. What is it really doing? It's keeping them in poverty, because there's a system of poverty. It's a process to be impoverished. It's a process. So are you focused on the process or are you focused on the personality? Ladies and gentlemen, inside of the process, there's a thing called integrity. See, personality is just the way something's said. The process is the way it's done. The way it's done is it done with integrity? How many of these shysters over the internet, they're focused on personality? Oh, they gotta let you see their face. They gotta flash Versace, Versace, Versace. But what about the process that you paid for? How many of the internet shysters took your money and you don't even hear from them anymore? And people say, well, that's just how it goes. That's not how it goes. That's a personality. That's not the process of actually building wealth. See, in wealth building, there's a process that you have to uphold called upholding your reputation. The process encompasses the reputation. Appreciate Jersey City for tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate New Jersey. It's about the process. A lot of people come through trustee training and they find out that it is a real process. That this is a process where, you know what? We might have to improve our personality. We may have to improve our habits. What we do or what we don't do. We have to get rid of those habits. And that's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. Is understanding the difference. That there's a process of wealth building that you're looking to enroll in. It's a process to help you develop wealth, to preserve wealth, to build wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of introverts. A lot of people say, I don't have the personality for it. I'm not a people person like you, Trust Christian. I'm not a people person. You don't have to be. You just have to be able to communicate your points of interest. That's a process. You get good at developing those skills. See, in trustee training, you learn that skills pay bills. What is your skill set? Is your skill set at building, or is your skill set at tearing down? Appreciate Nelson Canada for tuning in live, listening to replay. Appreciate Canada. Nelson, never heard of Nelson Canada. We'll look it up, but always appreciate other countries tuning in live, listening to replay, especially Canada and Nelson Canada in particular. Ladies and gentlemen, are you focused on the process, the systems, and the procedures? Or are you focused on the personality, selling you fear, selling you that the world's coming to an end? The world's been going on for thousands of years, millions of years. It ain't ended, so how are we at the end of it now? And are you going to be a part of the end? See, there's a personality that sells fear. At the Vault, we sell you the process. That wealth building has been going on for tens of thousands of years, generations. Generations have people passed gold and silver from one generation to the next. See, that's a process to hold your family in financial stead in good times and bad times. Appreciate Dallas, Texas for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate Dallas, Texas. Shout out to Dallas, Texas for tuning in live, listening to replay. Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that, Trust Christian may say things that don't rub you the right way. That you may hear things from the Vault's channel that may not rub you the right way. But ladies and gentlemen, are you going to let that stop you from getting the information that you're not getting anywhere else on the internet? Why? Because it's about the process. See, we're in the private trustee training program business. We're not in the sell you something business, the sell you the trust business, sell you this business, sell you that business. We're in the private trustee training business. That's the continuing education for trusteeship. So you can learn how to manage the family estate from one generation to the next. See, we're not here to sell you, oh, we got a house for free. It don't work that way. We share with you, look, when you do acquire the property, own nothing, control everything. That's the process. Own nothing, control everything. To make sure that you're trained in the own nothing, control everything thought process. Because it's not just a process that you do manually, it's a thought process. You got to enroll in a training program that you're in a program where you're around other people that live that process. That's why we have training workshops. Why? Because it's a process. You build wealth with other people. It's not based off their personality. It's based off of their knowledge base. It's based off of their thought process. People in trust deal with people in trust. Think about how many people that they come on the Vault and they say, yeah, I don't know anybody that's in trust, but they're in trust. Why are they enrolling? Because they want to involve themselves with people that can speak the same language, that have the same thought process. It's about the thought process, ladies and gentlemen. It's about the actions that you're taking. It's not a journey, ladies and gentlemen, it's a process. Most people are under the assumption, oh man, life's this grand journey. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the statistics. Look at the process of failure. And there's a process for success. Bottom line, what's going to be your focus? Trusteeship and thought process? Or is it going to be focused on, hey, I've never seen this person, they're behind this logo, we need to see the face, we need to see the lifestyle. Ladies and gentlemen, the process is own nothing, control everything, privacy. Why would you need to see any lifestyle? Well, because it's flashy, they got the actors, they got the celebrities, they got the athletes, we see their lifestyle. Well, let's look at the process of their lives. When they're ending it, Their personality, they did well for years. But the process chewed them up and spit them out because they don't all retire with wills. They don't all retire with trust because they didn't learn the thought process. They didn't learn the process. They just had a great personality. And that's what the vault is implementing a strategy into people's minds. It's a thought process. It's not a personality over here. You're not going to hear us give you the flashy jokes. We're not going to talk nice to you. We're going to let you know there's a process of doing it correctly and there's a process of doing it wrong. And you got to know when you're doing it right and when you're doing it wrong. It's not about a personality telling you, oh, you'll get it right the next time. Guess what? In private trusteeship, it may not be a next time. Some trustees had to experience that recently. Because it's not about the personality. It's about the process. It's about doing it correctly the first time. Implementing the strategies, processes, and procedures and systems the first time. It's not about a personality. Oh, can you forgive my personality because, I'm able to lie and tell the truth? No. See, the process doesn't lie. Men and women lie, but the numbers don't. The process doesn't lie. It either works or it doesn't. That's trusteeship for you, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. We're going to do an episode for the traditional Tuesday episode. But we just want to let you all know. You want to start looking at your life and assessing, are you dealing with people based off their personality, or are you dealing with them based off of the fact that they have a defined investment process in your benefit? Is it mutually beneficial? Do they have a vested interest in you? Well, guess what? At the vault, it's a vested interest. We don't have trustees go through the process and they don't know anything. We don't just sell things to people and they don't get it. That's not how it works over here. You have to leave our environment educated, trained up. That's trusteeship. Make it a point to distinguish personality versus process, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you all for tuning in live, listening to replay. Feel free to listen to the Tuesday night episode. Talk to you all soon. Peace.